morning, writers. Our learning target for the week of 4/12/2020. We will develop drafts into a focused, structured, and coherent piece of writing by organizing with purposeful structure, including an introduction, transitions, and a conclusion. Take 5.11b. I use my fantasy story plot map to create a rough draft that includes a lead, events with transitions, and an ending. The assignment, rough draft fantasy story. This week's task. This is like a to-do list. Get your fantasy plot map from last week. Write or type your rough draft story out on paper. Use the resources in the slideshow, which has links, and all those resources are also available on the checklist. Please include your beginning, your middle, and your ending. Your beginning is your engaging lead, your middle is all of the events from your plot map, and your ending reflects your theme. Did you remember to include your fantasy elements? You start with your fantasy plot map first. Go get it. This was last week's assignment. Make a copy of it out of your drive. Here's an example of my rough draft. I just started writing, and then I went back and added in my lead. "Dinner, Bo," I shouted loudly, so I used dialogue. You can click on this link or the one in the checklist to read my rough draft to get a better idea of what it should look like. But always compare it to my plot map and you'll see how I have all the same events in both. This should look familiar. These leads are also in your writing binder. You can get a copy of this if you don't have your binder with you by clicking on the link in your checklist. We did 6 different types of leads at the beginning of the school year: a talking lead, a sound effect lead, an action lead, a snapshot lead, a question lead, and a flashback lead. You want to pick an engaging lead that makes your reader interested and want to read your story. Here are the transition words. These are words that carry one idea to the next and help your story flow. You want it to move forward. So you're going to use these linking words to help you. This is also a link on the checklist. All right, examples of narrative endings. One of the most common ones that we use is the lesson or moral ending. The main character in the story grows or changes or learns something by the end of the story. Ending examples provide a sense of closure to the story, an opportunity to share the lesson learned, and finish the story on a good thought. This paper is also from your writing binder, and in addition, the link is in the checklist. Here is a new checklist. It's a rubric actually for you to look at, and you just want to make sure you included everything. You wrote your story about an important moment. You included the elements of fantasy. You have an engaging lead. All your events are in order and make sense. You use transition words to connect events and ideas. You used paragraphs to separate different parts of the story and to show when a new character is speaking. That would be your dialogue. And in the structure, describe the setting and the characters. Clearly state your conflict. Use your rising action to build suspense. Remember how we were talking about leaving clues in your rising action events? Your climax is the most suspenseful part of the story. And then we have the falling action. Those are all the events on the right-hand side of your plot map, and it leads us to the problem being solved. Resolution shows how it was solved and connects it to the theme. Where do I turn in my story, you ask? Go to Google Classroom. All of our assignments for reading and writing are turned into Google Classroom. Remember, do not share them with me. Do not email them to me. Turn them in to the Google Classroom. If you have any questions, you can email me or join Zoom Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. I'm always there from 9 until 10. I'd love to see your smiling faces. I miss you all, and I can't wait to read your stories because your plot maps were awesome. You have fabulous and fantastic ideas. I was saying it together. Good luck.